Hi folks, welcome back. Hope you're all keeping well. So today's request is for two songs. It's for Prologue and Beggar's Dance from JINJER. This request comes from one of my VIP patrons, and as they told me that each song is only 2 minutes long, I thought it was fair to combine those two into one video. If you'd like to secure a guaranteed reaction analysis request, please consider supporting me on Patreon. So I've got a little bit of information here as part of the request on this song. So apparently there's a bit of a concept going on here in that each line of lyric comes from a different song on the album, and that Prologue and Beggar's Dance are two takes on the same set of lyrics. Hence this sort of combined reaction that we're going to do for them. Now, as a lot of you guys will know, I'm not big on lyrics when it comes to the reaction videos, but I've brought up the lyrics here just before we've started, and I can see there's a lot of repetition with King of Everything, and so on, so it'll make more sense in the song whenever I hear that. And I guess we're mainly referring to this section here. We do what we have been trained to, hopeless beggars, dance to this beatific flute. If there's Lord out there, he's just a guest. Under this dome of ignorance, our boat is called Apocalypse. Who's in front of us, we cut them deep, yet untold, still unheard, we cherished lives to the underworld. There is a kind of flow to that. I'm no English scholar. I did study English literature at A level, but not beyond that. So any of you English majors out there, what's your take on this? Can you sort of just lift lines from different songs and bring them together and they sort of form their own? I'd like to think so. At least it gives you sort of a bit more of an abstraction as to like how things could appear. So I'm looking forward to hearing what the music has to offer. Let's get going. Beggar Path vibes on this. Nice harmonies. Yeah, these guys must be big Opeth fans. I'm getting a lot, not only just in terms of the riff and the style of it. This sounds like something structurally that would have been on the Damnation album, I think. I can't remember what song, but I'm getting big vibes off one of the songs of that. But hearing that sort of the violining kind of effects of the guitars, it's reminding me of their production on like Blackwater Park. It's interesting then that this is a prologue on an album, you know. So I guess probably the drum beat more than anything gives a sense of something coming, you know, because we're not just in the middle of a groove or, you know, in the middle of a song or whatever. This kind of sounds like, well, let's call it a prologue, but, or, you know, you could also use the word prelude, which is something coming, you know, it's something introducing something else. And it does have that sort of feeling. Okay, let's push on. This swells on the guitar, can be done with a foot pedal. Superb drum fill. Am I right in saying that this isn't Vlad playing? It certainly, style sounds different to stuff I've heard Vlad playing on. And in the comments, you guys have told me that has there been one or two different drummers with Ginger. I can't quite remember where we're at with Vlad coming in, but I don't know. It just doesn't sound like him. Another thing there is the use of the acoustic guitar. I don't think I've noticed acoustic guitar in any of their other songs thus far. That's another reference to Opeth. I'm talking about that acoustic album, you know, I'm definitely getting that. Sorry. Anyway, let's go on. Let's work out what key we're in. C. So that's the notes there. There's your riff. So very unusual scale, that. You could actually call that as like a C minor blues scale. It's weird though, whenever you hear it being played in the notes in the order that they're on in this riff, it doesn't sound bluesy to me. But when you take them like that, and then weird how, like, depending on the arrangement of the notes, that you can change the mood completely. Yeah, that's unusual there to have the E. That's not part of the blues minor scale. Getting a real major minor feel there, which gives an ambiguousness. You know, is it happy? Is it sad? Is it neither? But the fact that it's ambiguous sounding, that all goes as part of like an introduction to something, you know, because you're entering into something, but you're not quite sure what you're going to get. Or maybe you're going to get a combination of both or whatever, you know. So, yeah, great track. Okay, so that's the end of that one. Let me just prime the video for the second one, which is Beggar's Dance. And we have it primed and all. My Patreon is very on the ball. We've got links. Perfect. So let's push on with Beggar's Dance. My goodness. That's a bass tone. My goodness. Sort of like a swing jazz kind of thing going on here.
We do what we have been trying to. Hopeless beggars dance.
Like a bossa nova. Kinda.
If there's Lord out there, is just a chaos under the dome of ignorance. Our boat is cold, apocalypse. Who's in front of us? We got them dear. Yeah, I'm told. Still unheard. We cherish lies to the underworld. King of everything. King of everything. King of everything.
playful,
King of everything, king of
jazzy, funky
everything.
guitars.
Who's your king of everything? Who's your king of everything?
Oh, we got big jazz influences on this one.
King of everything. Yeah.
Yes! I think I've remarked before about Ginger being able to do everything. There we go. Of course they can. Do you know though? Normally, with this kind of arrangement, I would be really probably I'm geeking out here, but really geeking out on the instrumental stuff, and the vocals are nearly always secondary. Have to really say, the singing on this is probably the most compelling thing for me, and that's really rare. There's something about the way she's singing this, you know, we don't hear any delays or reverbs. It doesn't sound like any effects, certainly not any obvious effects on the vocals, which, you know, it's just a common production technique, you know, with any sort of, particularly with metal bands and different things, you know, any band, rock bands, we all use different effects just to create textures and ambience, you know. This is sounds like a really raw, dry vocal. It has a very live kind of sounding feel. And her runs are immaculate. Lots of expression everywhere. You know, this is really, like, I mean, obviously Tatiana is like, you know, a Goliath within the metal vocalist world. So I'm probably, whatever superlatives I have for, you know, have already been, you know, spoken out there by other people who are, you know, better trained at being able to pick up vocal nuances and so on, because that's not my area of expertise as opposed to instrumentation. But it's really coming through, the sheer talent she has as a vocalist on this. Her runs and so on are just, on the expression and everything. I'm going to go back a little bit and take some of that in because, yeah, Tatiana's jumping out on this one big time for me.
Everything, king of everything, king of everything.
The vocal sounds really immediate. You know, it's like right there, you know. Loving the production on it.
Who's the king of everything?
Lovely vibrato.
King of everything.
Whispered kind of, oh man.
Oh, king
Getting chills.
of everything. Yeah. Da, 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 King of everything, who plays bass, dance to this beatific fluid.
That's wild. That was wild. What was Eugene playing? Let's see, let's work this out. Definitely some sort of chromatic run going on there. Let me just take that in again let's check out what that pattern is. It definitely sounds kind of chromatic. He's on an E.
King of everything, who plays bass, dance to this beatific fluid.
So a very different affair from the Wallflowers album, eh? Obviously I'm coming at this completely the wrong order, you know, going backwards now as opposed to going forwards. But yeah, they're a relatively new band for me. I only heard of them last year. So I've reacted to the entire Wallflowers album, every song on it. So I have to go backwards now. I loved the Wallflowers album. I actually would say it was definitely one of the top albums of the whole year for me. And I love the fact that your request here has highlighted another side to Ginger there that I haven't really heard. Certainly not in an extended format. I know the songs are quite short here, but they're stem within a particular format throughout there instead of the really heavy stuff and then blending elements of this, which I've heard little bits so far in some of the previous work. So yeah, really enjoyed these. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed the video, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you enjoy what you're seeing, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. You'll find the link in the description below. See you all again soon. Bye.